So I am recording.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us on the Anti-IONS website. In this video, we will be discussing Julia Mossbridge. And joining me is a moderator familiar with the situation. Say hello, moderator.
Hello.
And so this is one of several videos on the Anti-IONS website where I'm discussing my experiences with scientists that are associated with the IONS Institute of Noetic Sciences. And this is part of a larger effort. And I really feel, I was thinking about earlier today, moderator, about how bad I feel that I joined the scientific community because I thought that with my military training, I can, an artistic background, I could offer a unique perspective and become part of all this. And although I did do all of that and became part of the community, it resulted in kind of the exact opposite of what I was intended and kind of what the IONS puts out about what they're all about. So the Institute of Noetic Science, if you're not familiar with it, was founded by a Navy veteran and astronaut Edgar Mitchell. And it was about basically the exploration of the unity of the mind, science of the mind, coming to a greater understanding of consciousness and how we're all sort of connected. And so on the IONS website, they continuously have programming about the altruistic nature of their mission, what good people they are, how they're community based, how they're all about love and empowerment. And I believe Julia is even uh, has a nonprofit she's involved with about, I think the name is Love. Do you happen to know the name of the organization, moderator?
I do not. I know she was part of Focus at Will for some time, but I'm not sure what nonprofits she is or isn't a part of
Okay.
right now.
Well, I read some of her book, and she discusses that and about, everything is love, everything, and the way to become a better world is to learn to solve differences in a peaceful and loving manner. And so if you look back on throughout the other videos, you'll see that that is kind of the exact opposite of how they work and practice their scientific efforts. I think a lot of this is money driven. And before I get into the details, I'll just say that I don't think uh, Julia is overall like just an out to do evil or bad or anything like that. But she's just in a comfortable place that she can just turn her back on other people's struggles as long as it doesn't hurt her. Then she's fine with it. And I think if you're working for
So in other words, sorry, just to clarify, so what you're saying is you believe that she has some level of privilege that she may not realize
the
that she
highest,
has.
not some level of privilege, probably the highest level of privilege that's possible to have in American modern society. Absolutely. And the ability to just like ignore the complaints of others. And so this was a situation where uh, Julia, and all of these emails that I'm going to reference throughout all of these videos are going to be found in an email repository, a link that will be at the bottom somewhere in here, where you can just open it up and openly see all of the emails that I've had in between all these people. And so why her name is on here is because there was a moment when I was having conflicts with people in the system, in the IONS community, and she was throwing out, I can't even remember what it was, but she was part of the IONS Innovation Lab or something, and made some comment about leadership and that she was like the problem solver. And I wrote her a message saying that there was some conflict between me and there was a hostile environment being set, and that I couldn't participate how I'd like to. And and I even alluded to there was possible criminal activity or highly unethical activity involved. And it does happen to include human trafficking. And one person has been arrested right now. When I first contacted her, there had not been an arrest made. It was basically my word against other people's word, and she just decided not. She wasn't interested in anything I had to say. So this is just another example of a whole series of scientists who put stuff out and say, "Hey, join us," and then they get your information, and then like say, "Go away." And so when they talk about community and love and compassion, they're doing kind of just the opposite. And so there's two situations here in the sense that I did contact her. She told me to go away. Then I was just like, okay, whatever. She's not the person she said she was. But I believe I contacted her again after an arrest was made, and she still said she just didn't want it. Gave me some brush off answer and let it go. Down the road, forwarded about maybe a year or so, uh, my research partner came aboard, and we started talking about this and conflicts that I've had with some of the other members. And this discussion with Julia came up, and I was able to show my partner a comprehensive list of complaints and a whole list of things um, that validated what I was saying, including the arrest, the person that had been arrested. And at the least, she agreed that this was warranted enough to have a discussion. It wasn't just, crazy person talk. And she said that she would be willing to reach out to Julia uh, because she had a relationship with her and felt that at least they would get a conversation out of it. And I didn't believe it, but I said, yeah, go ahead. And I was completely right. She got a complete brush off answer, even though she knew there was something probably pretty sinister going on behind the scenes, to the point where it wasn't even worth having a conversation. It was just one of those, I don't want to talk about it. So basically, if you go into the IONS racketeering list, there's a whole list of people with Adam Curry and Mikey Seagal, and that goes into the person that was arrested and why they were arrested. And and one of the reasons why people like them can get away with what they do is because people like Julia don't want to get involved. They don't want to say anything. And so they create an environment where other people can do all kinds of nasty stuff because they know that the people at the top won't want to ruffle anybody's feathers. And so uh, there was the situation the issue was that she turned her back on the fact and did not want to have the discussion why there was a hostile environment being created within IONS research. And here's an example now this is hypothesis on my part and a lot of assumptions, not something I can necessarily prove, but I'm pretty certain that if there was ever a legal police investigation that included forensic emails where they could go back and get emails that have been deleted off of these people's servers, they would find out that I'm right about this. So one of the groups that IONS supported, they had a weekend hackathon in a hot tub, something like that, and put out that they were going to be looking at brainstorming ideas on how consciousness can be used with cell phones. Now, one of the ideas Ian had was a modular phone that had its own random event generator on it, dedicated just to consciousness stuff. And I had a whole list of ideas. And so they put out basically a contest between consciousness hacking and IONS to have a weekend retreat of brainstorming out in their retreat, hot tub, camping, all of that stuff for the weekend, and talk about this project. And so I was like, hey, And it was one of these like, it's free to go, just send us your ideas. And so I was like, oh, okay. And so I sent Mikey my ideas, and I feel like an idiot now, but it was like a list of 10 ideas that were really good on how you could literally just build a modular phone if you wanted, but also some complex uh, systems that you guess you could design topological, really just bullet points, but on different features, how you can measure consciousness in a cell phone specifically. And I can't imagine anybody came up with something more robust than I did. But the answer I got back was, thanks for your response, but we're all full. We're not, so I wasn't invited to go. And so I didn't go. That went on. But I do know Julia and Mikey were a part of that. And then miraculously, right about that same time, that would have been, I have to go back and look at the exact time, but that's right around the time when Adam had been launching his failed entanglement app, the consciousness app. But I would not doubt it if some of my ideas that I had given into to Mikey to join that group found its way into the entanglement app somehow, or their presentations, because Mikey was one of the advisors on that project. And so was Dean Radin. I think Julia was as well. So my argument is that collectively, IONS is not fulfilling their role as a scientific institution, because part of the scientific method is acknowledging data and looking at models, even if you don't want to look, even if it doesn't fit your paradigm and come from a place that that comes from a place, I guess, that has some credit or merit. Obviously, people can't spend all their time reading gibberish, but for an organization that prides themselves on community to continuously uh, repel somebody, and it's not just me now; it's other people as well. Uh, that says, hey, we've got the answer to the X that you've been looking for, and their answer is, we don't want to look. That is complete abuse of the scientific method. And so I'm going to ask you to review the rest of the videos, find the petitions, sign the petition to revoke ION's nonprofit status. And I'm going to send these to the IRS and all their funding, because apparently money is the most important thing. The irony here is that our discoveries have been so profound, they could be making, I wouldn't say making money, that's not our objective, but they would be receiving an immense amount of funding by working with us. Because we have solved the problem that they proclaim to be searching for, and that is the finding of a testable model. And right behind me is one of our computers that can show how all that works. And so that's it for the Julia Mossbridge thing. Moderator, is there anything else you think I should throw in there?
I think you covered your story to my knowledge.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll be moving on. And be sure to check out the other videos and petitions and complaints. Thank you.